G-Rod checking in from New York City on Skype with Chris Gordon on Hellblazer Biz.
Good afternoon, good evening, and good night, my listeners and viewers wherever you are in the world right now. This is the one and only Hellblazer Biz, the talk show with the stars. And your host, as always, me, Chris Gordon. Haha! Thank you all for joining. If you're joining for the first time, thank you very much. I really appreciate your support and hope that you continue to do so. You can also find a back catalogue of all my interviews, over 100 now, with the stars of TV, film, and theatre, on hellblazerbiz.com. This week, I have got an amazing guest for you. He's a flowery guest, and he's currently starring alongside Jack Whitehall in The Bounty Hunters, which is a comedy showing on Sky One in the UK, and it's also showing in the US as well. So without further ado, I introduce to you the brilliant Gabriel G-Rod Rodriguez. Hey, G-Rod.
What's going on?
I'm good, thanks. I appreciate you doing this. I know you're over in New York City at the moment.
My pleasure. Absolutely.
Cool. So yeah, I'd just like to... Sorry, that was great. I'll edit that out. I appreciate you doing this, and as always, it's great to chat. Again, I apologise for the time difference thing. I say to people who don't know, because I had a little bit of a mix-up again with the good old British summertime changing, and happened to be awkward British at doing it at different times to everybody else in the world.
Of course.
So but we got it to work.
We did. As you can see, it's sunny behind me.
It is, and it's night
bright.
and it's pitch black outside for me.
Yeah.
Excellent. So, as I say, I've got you on here. I'm going to ask you a few questions about where you come from, what you're up to at the moment, and I'm going to start with something we just discussed briefly before. And the whole reason for my show, Hellblazer Biz, is because 2 years ago, Constantine, the TV show, was on, and huge fan. And since then, I am just did motivational talks to support the fans and everything like that. Made a friend with a production assistant, brought her on, got people to send in questions, everyone loved it, and from there I kind of reached out and ended up getting the whole cast on the show. All the main Matt, Harold, Angelica, and even Dave Blass as well. So it was great, and that's kind of where my show came from. And so I was really, really delighted to know that you were in Constantine yourself, and you actually, as we mentioned before, you had a fight scene with Matt Ryan himself.
Yeah, it didn't go well, but
not for you, no.
not for me.
How was it? How was it filming that show? Because it was a very unique show, and it was very, I think they plowed so much into it, heart and soul.
Yeah, you see these fight scenes, these choreographed fight scenes on TV, and it's like they kind of come and go so quickly. Maybe at times 20 seconds. My scene with him, we interacted a little bit. There was some dialogue, and the actual fight scene was here and gone within probably seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And that was all day. So it's incredible, and I think that some people don't realize how well thought out these things are to make sure that they come off like magic, like they do, and there's so many people in the room. I still, after doing this for, whatever, 7 years, I'm still fascinated by all the pieces that go into it and all the people that are pushing buttons and doing their parts. You look around and it's really fascinating to see how much goes into it. So that I have to say was one of the great experiences that I had, which was Constantine. Of course, I was familiar with the character, mm-hmm. and then I became familiar with the person who was playing the character, and I thought, how cool is that going to be? Where you read the script, and then you read it again, and then you get a sense for the narration, and you're already excited because you see the stuff in between the narration that says at this point his eyes are going to bulge and red and stuff like that, mm-hmm. and you kind of get a sense for it. Yeah. But what's really interesting is if you've obviously seen the scene, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. so what's interesting is, and I don't remember exactly what I was doing. I was probably talking to one of the pretty girls on set. But we did a bunch of takes on the dialogue, the exchange of words that we had, and then we switched gears into the fight scene, and then we switched gears and started filming his side of it.
Yeah.
You know, because you turn it around. Okay, we're turning around and so forth.
Yeah.
So when we did my side initially, you know, the cameras are facing me, and I'm vibing off of him. He's really just there for me. Cool. And then I went off to Crafty or whatever to grab a protein bar or whatever, or talk with one of the pretty girls. I come back, and it's a long day, and I think they yelled action, and then they focused on his scene where he turns into a monster.
Yeah.
I had no idea they had put this stuff on him. I had no idea. So, I mean, it all happened so quickly. They yelled action. They changed up his eyes. They put these popping veins coming at it. And then you're sitting there processing, and you know where you're at, you know what you're doing, but it all happened so quickly, and the blowers are going, the air's lifting up. And I remember the director coming up to me. He's like, "Oh, man, we're going to do it again, but that was great. You really looked, frightened." I was like, I'm thinking to myself, I was.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't paying attention to the makeup and all the stuff they did to him. And I came up to him and afterwards, I'm like, "What the fuck, dude? They really..." Oh, I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm like, "What the fuck, dude? They really made..." You scared the living shit out of me. So a lot of fun, and the guy, Matt was of course great, and he's a very cool dude, very down to earth.
Yeah,
it was a pleasure working with him.
Excellent. I mean, I've heard that. As I say, I mean, I've had the pleasure of talking to most of the main cast on that show, and I've met Matt several times. Should be hopefully going for a pint with him at some point when he comes back to London. So he's a great guy, and I mean, I think that carried the show as well.
Yeah, very down to earth. He's one of those guys that you don't feel that Hollywood vibe, like I'm like, oh God, all right, let me just wave and keep moving. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And a lot of people found that as well. I've spoken to people who, like yourself, were in it for one episode as well, and they all said that the welcoming feel on that show, and no one was like that, the Hollywood vibe, and it's such a brilliant show. And the episode that you were in, The Saint of Last Resorts, was probably one of my favourite because it was split between two. And I think that was my favourite episode. That one, the
cool.
story, that part of the storyline. So
I really enjoyed the scene, and if you look at it, there's what you see there is whatever character that was, Lopez, or I think it was Lopez.
Yeah.
Just another Latino criminal, and the stereotypical guy that I play. But what you see there in terms of the way I work and perform is that guy pretty much that I play most of the time, where there's very little going on. Like, I'm not very animated, but you get what I'm getting across. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You have these actors that are much bigger, and then they're like, so if I'm looking at the cameras, I'm gonna kill you. And they got all this going on. That guy that you see there is the product that I specialize in, where it's very low key. You're going small, but there's a lot going in there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I guess that transpires for a lot of the roles. I mean, a bit further on, you were one of the saviors in The Walking Dead, and I've managed to.
Right.
I've spoke just a couple of times with Christopher Berry, who was the savior who got blown to bits in that first episode of one of the seasons.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, with the bazooka.
That's right.
And a couple of the other. And you're right.
Yeah, that was a dope episode.
Yeah. It was brilliant. And I think, like you've just said, with the savior characters there, you're standing in the background. That kind of, you've got the imposing and menacing look about it. In that role. Do you find you just mentioned stereotypical roles there? Do you find you get put into there because of you're a heavy built, muscular guy? So do you find that you get sort of put into those kinds of roles?
Oh yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about it, and I've learned to be okay with it. I've had this conversation with somebody else that I interviewed with recently, and it's funny because you'll never see me get booked on as a UPS driver with a package coming to your door. It's just not going to happen. I would love to do a commercial.
Yeah,
I would love to, but I remember getting an audition for like DirecTV, and I walk in and the client had his head down, and he looks up, and then he looks at me confused and looks at the casting guy who's behind the camera like, oh shit, we're all right, we'll waste our time here, but whatever, because we don't want to piss off this guy in front of us. He might like find us in the parking lot. It's just, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I'm well aware of that. So I specialize in this product. This is the product that I am, like that savior dude in The Walking Dead, and or the Lopez character in Constantine, and the other roles that I've played.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I would love to do something that's a little bit more friendly, that my kids can actually
watch.
relate to.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to say watch, because I have shown them some stuff that I probably should have, but some stuff that's more appropriate for them to watch.
Yeah.
I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Fair enough. Good answer.
Some questionable parenting there, showing some of my stuff.
We've all been there.
With Constantine specifically, Mommy had shown them, and my little girl was like, "Oh, is Daddy okay? Is he gonna?" She turned around and looked, and she was like crying almost, and she's like, "Oh my God!"
Oh,
I didn't realize what I did. I gotta get Daddy on the phone.
Yeah.
Look, talk to your daughter. She wants to make sure you're okay. I'm like, oh, damn it, woman. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess that is true. In those kinds of roles, that you are going to get beaten up. Your kids, at a young age, can't differentiate between obviously what you're doing and the real life.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And then I've died. I got more than 9 lives, and I'm always seem to be that guy. Like he's so big, he's so menacing. How cool would it be if we have our lead fuck him up? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the right approach. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, fair enough. I know there's actually
that always works.
There's some independent films going on here at the moment. One's being released, the other one's in the works, and I think there's a third one, and they're called the Knights of the Damned Trilogy. So I've had them all on the show, and they're basically it's set up. They're big bodybuilder actors as well, and so I can put you in touch. See if there's any room, because they're for the next movie they do, because they're basically they're cracking films actually, but they're all based because the nights are huge. So
yeah, give them my number. Tell them to fly me out. I love London. I had a great time there. I was there for almost 2 months. I had a great time. I'm not gonna lie.
It is a good city. I'm down here at the moment. I live in North Wales, but I'm working in London. So
okay.
It is. It's a good vibe.
Really enjoyed it.
Yeah. So I mean, you said about 7 years ago, or 5-7 years ago, when you got into it. What spurred you to get into acting?
Well, I'll tell you. There's 2 things that sort of happened. I had interviewed to be a border patrol agent. And in the interview, it's a very lengthy process, but I got to the oral presentation.
Right.
And then it got to it's very intimidating. You have 3 of these agents, all in their uniform and everything, and it's a room that's built to be very intimidating.
Yeah.
And they're hammering out questions, and I'm knocking them out. And then they go into this part of the oral presentation where they say, "All right, we're going to present you with a scenario, and you got to tell us how you're going to handle it." Mm-hmm. I'm like, all right, cool. And so they say, all right, so you're getting out of your vehicle, and somebody's approaching you, and they seem to have something in their hands. Go. I'm like, all right, sir, put your, put your arms up. Let me see what you have in your pocket. And they look at each other. I'm not even now paying attention to the agents. Okay, and they're like, now you have a guy behind you. I'm like, get down on the ground. Do not approach me. And they're like, okay, and don't you want to call for back? Yeah, I need backup at 123, and I got the chopper coming. I played out this whole scenario.
Yeah.
At the end, they're looking at each other, totally fucking confused. And they're like, okay, well, in the 30 years, sir, that we've done this, I've never seen somebody act out
Yeah.
the scenario.
Brilliant.
We just wanted you to explain it. And then he said, but it was great. You passed. I'm like, oh, shit, cool. So then I realized I was actually able to log out. I was gone. So, if you're able to do that, like I always say that actors have to be like about 10% crazy for it to work.
Yeah.
And then about around that time, I started evolving into this character that I am on a day-to-day, which is G-Rod, where I'm bald, big, and, just this started happening where I look a little bit more menacing, and people started, I get stopped often, like, are you a fighter? Are you this, a firefighter, a cop? And making cops very nervous. Right now, the Uber driver's looking at me, he's ready to call 911. No, don't call 911. We're cool. I'm a very, very nice guy. You okay? You're okay. All right. So. He's okay. So finally, at one point, I got stopped at the airport, and this guy with his kid is like, man, I saw your fight last night at UFC. Can I take a picture with you? I'm like, you didn't see my fight. I don't fight professionally. Like, oh, that's the way we're playing it. Okay, cool. We're just gonna go ahead and snap a selfie. We're good. Yeah. I was like, dude, I didn't fight. Keep up the good work. I was like, oh man. And then I'm thinking, what if I had told him I am this dude, and what if I had charged for a picture?
Yeah. Yep.
I'm like, I got to do something with this. I got to do something with this. I got to turn this into money. What can I do with it? What can I do that can make me money, and at the same time I'm enjoying it? Where I can be a cop, I can be a firefighter, I can be a UFC fighter. Nothing. So I was down in Miami at the time. I was still living in South Florida, and I auditioned for Burn Notice. Like I don't know what year that was, 2013. And I booked a role, and the rest is history.
Fantastic. It's a great start.
Thank you.
And a great story to hear as well. I know. Nice motorbike revving. It was a great. I do know where you're coming from as well. This, you do have to have a certain. It's great to hear that you had that with the border, and you acted it all out. There are. I mean, the reason I've started this again, one of the reasons is I started wrestling. I'm 42 in December. I started pro wrestling, like the American wrestling tie, about 3 years ago. 4 years ago, and I became known the king of the promos because for some reason I just relished. They'd come out, when you're giving the promo, I'm going to beat your ass, blah blah blah, this and that.
Yeah, of course.
In the training sessions, they used to give. I was twice the age. I was the age of the kids because they were like 16, 17. There's me, 38 years old, throwing myself over. Oh, I loved it every minute. But the promo bit was great because they'd just come out and they'll give you just as you go out the curtain, they say, right, you are an English aristocrat. You are, you're a heel, English aristocrat. Go out there, and they kept doing it. And every time, I would just like turn into this character, and I'd be straight out there, and it'd be like, "Well, excuse me, sir," and and it's and all the other kids were like, "Wow, man!" They started calling me the promo king just because I could turn it on like that, and it's
right.
It's great.
And that's similar. That's what you got to do. If you can go there, on a drop of a hat. You might be a candidate for this industry.
I did do a film last year. I was in a film last year myself. I'll put that out. I had a few lines as well, so I was quite happy with that.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah,
very cool.
Hopefully the first of many, because it's an industry.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen, I started when I started. It was almost like I didn't want to utter a word about it. I'm thinking to myself, okay, that could have been a fluke. The second one came around. That could still be a fluke. You know what we're going to do? I told myself, after 3 hits, then it's got to be something more than a fluke. The third one came around, and then the fourth one, I'm like, all right, there's something here.
Yeah.
Whereas you have some of these people that I swear to God, they're doing background work, and I encourage people that are trying to get into this business to do background work once or twice to get a sense for what the set brings, what's going on. Okay, that guy's doing that. The boom's over there. The grip guy's over there. Camera A and B, to get a sense for what goes on in the day to day. So when you do book something and you have lines, you don't show up on set and you're like, wait, what is going on here?
Yeah.
But you got people who are delusional, who are out there doing only background, and then they get a line, possibly. Oh shit, I might die, but I have full confidence in you, Mr. Uber driver. We're good. All right, Mohammed, we're good? Yeah, we're good. He nodded at me. We're good. And then they're calling themselves actor. I don't get it. And I'm an actor. I'm a SAG actor, and this and that. I'm like, just, there's that whole saying that, like, go pursue your dreams and let your actions speak, let your success speak, but just keep your. And that was the way. That's the way I was. That was my belief. I'm just gonna slide through here. Somebody left the back door open. Somebody crept in, left the back door open. I just stuck my hand in there, and I'm creeping in. I'm creeping in. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Somebody let me in. Let me take a peek into this thing, and I'm not remaining quiet. I'm coming in like a fucking bear.
And that's a good attitude. Yeah, that's a great attitude to have for it, because it's definitely a passion. And everyone I've spoken to, I've spoken to 100 actors now, and that's the one thing that you guys always have, and that's the passion behind it, because the work that it takes and the effort that you go into to actually to audition and get roles and push yourself forward, because that does take passion. Because if you didn't have passion for it, because you would give up. You would end up giving up quite a long, right at the beginning. Same with this interview thing. If for every interview like yourself, a great guy who I can come and chat to, the work that goes in to try and get anybody is, it's not the same. Well, kind of similar to the acting role. There's so much effort behind
with anything in life.
Oh yeah, it doesn't have to be this industry. No matter what you do in life, you've
got
to work
I
to
don't
get
care
success.
what you're doing. If your passion's there, and you're truly driven to seek success within whatever it is that you pick, you shouldn't stop. You should not. If you're living and really living every moment geared around, obviously family and health are important, but if you're not living every moment trying to further your progress within this aim that you have, then that's not it. That's not your passion. But you gotta tell people all the time, you gotta be digging in the right hole. There's that whole thought that that old saying that if you're not digging in the right hole, you can be digging all day long. So if you're if you're choosing acting, let's say, for the wrong reasons, and you go into an audition room and you freeze the first time, then the 100 times, 5 years later, you're still freezing. That might be your calling.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Just like a nurse somebody wanted to be a nurse, and them and then puking every single time they see stitches or something. That might not be your calling. So you got to have that self-analysis and truly be honest with yourself, and make that self-determination that this is what I'm after. This is my passion. And if you can make a lot of mistakes and choose the wrong one in your early 20s.
Yeah.
I just happen to turn 40. I'm like, the way I see it, what do I got? Another 40 good years, and then before I I don't want to say I hang my hat, but 40 years, I'm probably looking for a place to hang my hat. It's not that long. So when you're in your 30s, late 30s, this is it. Pick. It's like that guy looking at you at the fast food joint, and you've been staring at the menu for a good amount of time. Sir, you want to pick something, you want to move on.
Yeah.
So, again, you got to have that self-analysis. Be true to yourself. Once you pick, make sure it's the right pick. Eliminate all the self-doubt and move forward. Just crush every single obstacle. When you started, I'm sure it was tough. You had you were chasing down interviews and knocking doors, and I'm sure you laid your head to rest sometimes, like, man, maybe I should consider something else.
Oh God, yeah, still do, because it's you get like that, but
if this is it though, and it's true in your heart that this is it, then you let nothing stop you.
No, you are. You are right. I mean, there are times when you do think of giving up. There was recently, but I mean, in my turn, like you say, 2 years ago, it was really difficult. I was nobody. I still consider myself nobody in the business, but I'm working on it. But I've got over 100 guests now, and when I think back, I've had 100 conversations with actors I cherish and love. I'm watching on screen, and even if that goes further, it's that's I've achieved that, and exactly the passion behind it is what drives me on. Because every time I think I can't do it anymore, it's like, no, damn it, I've got a TV pitch. I want to go out there, and I want to be James Corden.
That's right.
Yeah. So yeah, it's definitely in there. It's great advice.
You keep blasting through all the obstacles.
Yep, that's some great.
And before you know it, the next obstacle isn't just that hard. It's just a little bit easier, and the next, and the next, and the next, and so on and so on.
Exactly. Like you say, you work hard, and things come easy, and success comes to you. So that's some great advice there. Brilliant.
That's right.
Who would you love to work with, actor-wise or director-wise, or both?
I would, I was on Ballers on HBO. I'm not sure if you know this, but
yeah, the one with The Rock, yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't get a chance to work with The Rock.
Oh no.
I would love to be in a action scene. I would love to fuck some shit up with The Rock. Even if I lose at the end.
Yeah.
But that's one of my that's on my wish to list.
Mhm.
And hopefully that'll happen soon.
Yeah, he's
so maybe if The Rock sees us, what up, Rock? What up?
I've got to say that, guys.
He
took me on when when I used to watch WWE and watched him in WWE. I could see he had some charisma back then, and seeing how he is now, he's got to be one of my favourite. He's got everything. He's got for the women, he's got the look, or the blokes as well. He's got the looks. He's got the charisma, the comedy. He's just all round talent. That guy. So yeah, he's someone I'd love to be able to meet one day and work.
we'll push this. Let's promote it to the point where he listens to it. But even if he's listening, I need some time to train and get in the right shape to go up against The Rock. Because that motherfucker's, I'm big.
Yeah.
That motherfucker's a monster.
Oh,
He's a beast.
Yeah,
so I would love to throw down with him. Love it.
Brilliant.
And I have, I'm not sure if you know, but I do most of my stunts.
I didn't know that, no.
Yeah, like, for example, like even as simple as that fight scene that you saw with Matt on Constantine. There's situations like that where a stunt coordinator will say, if they don't feel comfortable with the actor, they'll say, yeah, we're going to have to do a stunt double. Where the stunt coordinator won't feel comfortable with the actor.
Yeah.
Or they don't want to put somebody against their lead who might hurt them. Let me just walk over here so I can see you better. Where they might hurt them, and they have to shut down production. So in my case, they see my stunt resume, they see that I got the experience, and they let me throw down.
Nice.
It's a good example with Matt. You don't want to put somebody in. I got to go inside because it's too loud. Let me just go inside.
Okay.
It's New York City. They fucking blasting music for the whole block. Oh, man. So you have situations. Hold on a second here. You have a situation with like Matt where you a wrong step or a wrong punch, you got to shut down production.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And those situations have happened before in this industry where you have somebody who's not properly trained, and they come on and they think that that's a real fight.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you can't throw at 100 when you're supposed to throw at 20 or 30%.
Yeah.
You with me?
Oh yeah, definitely. It was I was going to say, it was definitely like that for the wrestling that I did, because obviously pro wrestling, it's not fake, it's just obviously choreographed. So when you do hit someone, Yeah, I know exactly what you mean because
Right, you know exactly what I mean.
oh yeah, there's been times when we've had the new guys coming in, and when they've given you an elbow to the face. We normally you come in, like you say, you come in really hard, but then you just ease off at the last minute. And these kids don't,
That's right.
and you end up like with with a smashed jaw or a torn quad muscle like I did.
They think that to make it look real, it has to be real.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's where people get injured.
So that's what I was saying. So I have a great deal of respect for The Rock because he does a lot of his stunt work, and I do a lot of it.
Yeah.
So he and I, going back to my wish list, he and I could really throw down and have a good time.
I'm
you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I'm sure you could. That'll be a good fight to see.
Right.
Exactly. Even if you lose at the end of it, it'll still be good because you get The Rock against you.
Right. That's right.
That'll be an awesome thing to do. How about directors? Are there any directors you'd like to work with out there? Any sort of other genres that you'd love to be?
Well, I would love to work with Taro from The Walking Dead.
Oh yeah.
But unfortunately, that's probably not going to happen because I've already died.
Yeah.
As you know.
Mm-hmm.
And once you die, it's funny because The Walking Dead is one of those things where people remember. You got these fanatics.
Oh yeah.
That keep track of everything. So there's certain shows. There's certain shows like. Are you familiar with NCIS?
I am. Yeah, I love the end. Well,
okay.
Yeah, I love
like
NCIS.
Offhand. You can possibly come back.
Mm-hmm.
There's a number of other shows, but Walking Dead, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, okay, cool, I died. I'll wait 6 months. I'll wait a year, and then I'll audition again. No, somebody sent me like this Walking Dead Wikipedia type page.
Yeah.
Where they log in all the deaths,
mm-hmm.
and I was on it. I'm like, you fuckers, you motherfuckers. So, and it says, who played the role, what his role was.
Mm-hmm.
He died on this episode, and it's logged in.
Yeah.
So, and then I had a chance to speak to my agent about it, and they said, yeah, no, they're once you're dead, you're gone.
Yeah, unless you come back. I mean, you get all the makeup on you as a big zombie, as a walker.
Right. Or I can look at Fear the Walking Dead. That's also a possibility.
Well, yeah, that's very true.
It was a true pleasure. No, it was a pleasure. It was obviously a pleasure, and I was honored to be invited to that experience.
Oh yeah. No, it's fine. Don't worry.
Everybody that knows me understands I'm a bit of a jokester.
That's
okay.
Fine. No, that's cool.
I speak very loosely and
sarcasm.
You should see. Yeah, I'm very very sarcastic. You should see me at a pub, as you guys call it, slamming down some cider.
Oh dear. Yeah. No. That's cool. That's the same kind of humor I've got. So don't worry. It's fine.
Yeah. Most people get my humor. There's some people that don't, but most people do.
Yeah, it's and the ones who don't just need a transplant of humor.
That's right. Come on, guys. Come on. He was clearly laughing.
Exactly. Brilliant. And I say, that's great. I mean, you say The Walking Dead's another. You MacGyver, Ballers, Walking Dead, Constantine, 24. You've been in a hell of a lot of big shows out there as well. So
Thank you.
Like you say, yeah, you are like you say before. You just went in that back door and you are pushing your way right through. So in fairness to you,
I'm still pushing.
You are, yeah.
I haven't cracked open that door entirely, but I'm fucking forcing that motherfucker. Get the fuck, pushing these motherfuckers out the way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Picking up their crumbs, because guess what? A crumb drop by The Rock or Vin or Mark Wahlberg, these are huge crumbs.
Yeah.
So I'm just fucking, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm first generation in this industry. Nobody, there's nobody in my family that's tapped into this, and I don't want to say that it's always easier for people that have some folks in the industry, but
So it is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So guess what? I come from the hood. I was born in Venezuela, where you needed to, you didn't know where your next meal was coming from.
Yeah.
And to be, in the room with some of these big movers and shakers, like I said, Greg Nicotero, recently working on Tales of Irv Gotti and being on Power. It's a privilege. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that door is cracking open. In a minute, I'm gonna fucking kick this motherfucker down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. That's crap. It's good. It's kind of inspiration as well for people who do, like you say, people who come from backgrounds where they haven't had the families and, they've not got in there and they've worked, so you are kind of an inspiration to those kind of people to push yourself in.
That's it.
And to get yourself and find that success and find that stardom in what you really love to do, which is a great thing to see.
That's what's up.
Cool. And Bounty Hunters, that's the newest one you're in, isn't it? That's
Bounty Hunters is the newest is NCIS New Orleans. I got right now what's coming out soon is NCIS New Orleans in November. Then I got Tales on BET coming out.
Okay.
And BET, you guys have BET in the UK, so that's gonna hit over there just like 2 weeks later. So you guys will be seeing that in December.
Okay.
I got a starring role.
Yeah, Detective
Tales,
Sanchez,
which is gonna be fucking incredible. It's gonna be insane. I love the show. Shout out to Irv Gotti. This man was brilliant idea to come up with this, based around hip hop songs, and of course, right in your neck of the woods, Bounty Hunters, which the first episode aired last week. Second episode aired last night.
Yeah.
And all the feedback has been positive. I play Pancho, which is this bubbling idiot, a bit of a very much simpleton.
Yeah.
Kind of just goofball. It's great. It's great. I had a lot of fun playing that role.
Brilliant. I mean,
very different.
Yeah, I can imagine. And that one is I've just checked before. As Bradley James is one of the leads in that one, and he was obviously Arthur in the Merlin series.
Yeah,
and he's a great guy. And you've got Jack Whitehall, who's the he's the comedian over here. So yeah, no, you nice lineup to be in there. So
yeah, thank you.
It's brilliant. Now, so I'm just kind of looking up on it. Can you tell me more about that a bit more? Expand on that one a bit more.
Yeah, so it's a show where people, you got this awkward kind of nerd. I guess you guys call it. I had to learn the word posh. Mm-hmm. This tight ass kind of rich boy, which he plays fucking phenomenal role. This Barnaby role, he just kills it. Mm-hmm. This dude, Jack Whitehall, I mean, he's just got an awkwardness about him that he plays right into it.
Yeah,
it just plays right into it. That you can just this dude's got these faces, man. It's just fucking hilarious. And in this role, he just keeps digging himself deeper and deeper into his problems. You're like, no, don't. That doesn't seem like a good idea. And then you're just later, oh yeah, I told you so. You see that? That was just, honey. You see that? What he did? He just fucked up. That was horrible. No, why are you gonna do that? And it just keeps. It all starts off with his father, going into coma, and then him having to look after his father's antique store, and then they think that it's a great idea to bring this fucking bounty hunter who happens to be my cousin in the show, Rosie, played by Rosie Perez, Nina, and what a great idea! Let's bring her from Brooklyn over here to find our money, and then. It's just the rabbit hole goes deeper and deeper. So throughout the whole season, and there's a total of 6 episodes, it just takes you through and just shows you how deep that rabbit hole can go. And through that process, it's just fucking hilarious, man. I have ADD. And when I got handed these episodes, I'm like, right after the other. I'm like, oh, well, I got to eat dinner. No, but let me just grab another episode. This shit was hilarious.
Yeah.
And who would have thunk that you got some Brits fucking in a I don't know, corporate office. I don't know where they're sitting, that can come up with writing that is hilarious, and they can still capture, the humor, because sometimes you have humor that's British humor, and I've seen some shows, and you got American humor, and then they don't transcend.
No,
you know
not all the time. Yeah.
You got this show that's able to capture both, because I'm reading, you Brits over there are getting it, you loving it, and I'm watching some of the from here, some of the feedback, and I think this shit was hilarious, man. So that's what it is. And Pancho, it's crazy because obviously working with Rosie and Jack, these are professionals. They've been doing this for a long time. Jack started in comedy and everything, but for me it was a little bit new because, like I said, and we mentioned before, is I play that bad guy.
Yeah.
So it was kind of different for me, but I'm a bit of a goofball in real life. I just hadn't put that to camera, and it came kind of easy. It came easy.
Fantastic.
I was just let loose. That's all it was.
Brilliant. Sounds great. And I know I've just seen Robert Lindsay was also in it. He played Jack Whitehall's character's dad.
Yeah.
He's one of my favourites as well. He's a very dry.
I didn't get to work with him, but he's got that dry humor. I met him. I was in the the green room with him a couple times. Really nice dude. Yeah. Really, really cool dude.
Oh, cool. I've not met him, but yeah, I've the things I've seen him in, and I've seen him being interviewed and stuff, and yeah, he's got the perfect my humour. Because I grew up on like you say, the British humour. I grew up on Monty Python, Blackadder, Red Dwarf, those kind of. So that's where my humour is fully innuendo, sarcasm, and.
Right, and he's got that. You don't even I seen him in some things now because I looked him up. I'm like, this dude's done a lot of work. I had no idea.
Yeah,
and he's got that humor. Just kind of hits you like, wait, what the fuck was that? That sort of thing. Wait, did he just, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Did you watch him in My Family? Have you seen that one? The sitcom he did.
I did not.
That's the new one. That was probably the last thing I've seen him in, was the comedy sitcom. That was very good. A British suburban family.
I was behind in the room when I saw him play out, on Bounty Hunters. Like, this motherfucker's hilarious. He makes it look so easy.
Yeah. Yeah, excellent. No, it sounds great, and it does sound. I'm gonna have to watch that now because it just sounds right my cup of tea type thing.
Watch it. It's every. Why the fuck is this prompting me? The low battery. Hold on a second here. Okay, so it's every Wednesday at 10 p.m. your time.
Excellent. I missed it last night. I shall check it on catch up. I'm sure all the DVR things we kept. It'll be there somewhere, so I'll make sure I get that on. No, that's brilliant. So kind of drawing to a close, sadly, I'm afraid. It's been an absolute pleasure.
I'm at 5% battery. I don't know why this thing's not charging. The only last thing I just want to mention is Tales. Make sure you guys check it out over there. In BET. I have a starring role as Detective Sanchez, and I play a dick asshole the cop, and it's based around the hip hop songs, and this one that I'm in is based around All I Need, which is a song by Method Man and Mary J. Blige, and it is phenomenal, and everyone should check it out.
Brilliant. I'm sure we will, and I'll tag it in, and I'll tweet it out as well, and get the links out.
Yeah, if you could please tag at Tales on BET, and if you could also tag the creator and director and a brilliant visionary, which is Irv Gotti.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, man.
Oh, thanks, G-Rod. That was absolutely fantastic. I had an absolute blast talking to you. Thanks for your time. I really appreciate it. As I can see, you're a very busy man, but I appreciate your time as always. Thanks for anyone who sent in questions. I hope you all enjoyed that episode, and I shall speak to you soon. This is Hellblazer. Sayonara.